What's up, Lady D? Lady D, man, you know I'm gonna drop some gems. Welcome to the night room. I might change the topic too. Come up. I'm gonna invite you up so you can get on stage with me. What's up, Albert? Man, Albert, I'm glad that you are here, dog. This is gonna be a good one right here, man. I am going to be talking about the state of the U.S. military today. Albert, come on, raise your hand. Come on the stage, man. Let me see here. Let me invite Albert up real quick. All right, Albert, come up here, man. Come holler at me. Bruno, man, what's up, dog?
What up? What up?
All right, man. So I'm gonna make you a moderator, man, so we can bring some people up, man. Okay, state of the U.S. military, man. This is gonna be a hot topic. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Anthony Glenn. I'm a buy and hold investor out of sunny Southern California. We're gonna be talking night show.
Art drawing. He is.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
If you're in a
I done turned on my Pornhub video. My bad. What's up, Otis? How you doing?
What up, man? What's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm trying to do something different, man. And start a night room, man. You know, get a night room going.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So I'm gonna go to Bruno first, and then go to Otis for a quick introduction. And we're gonna be talking about a couple of things today. I think you guys are gonna like this stuff. We're going to talk about the U.S. military. Let me read this to you guys. America's U.S. military reached the recruiting goal for 2023 by 41,000 U.S. troops. Bruno, what do you think about that?
So they're saying that they reached the goal only by 41,000, or
They missed.
oh, they missed. Oh, well, man, I think it's there are a lot of things that are going on in the world that a lot of these people aren't wanting to get down with the get down, man. It's a world where after the immediate satisfaction stuff, a lot of people out here wanting to play video games and do all these other things, and I don't think that we harp as much on patriotism as we used to before,
Yep.
right? Which I think is what kind of like led to a lot of shit, man. Like I remember when 9/11 happened and people were, you know what I mean? Like dudes were like hopping on the treadmill to be like, "Yo, man, I'm going in," right? Like, and now I feel like it's one of those where things will be popping and people be like, "Oh, well, that's nothing to do with me."
And let me say this, guys. Welcome to the show. My name is Anthony Glenn, buy and hold investor out of sunny Southern California. Today's topic is going to be about the U.S. military, man. The state of the U.S. military. Let me read this to you guys. Okay. During fiscal year 2023, the U.S. military services collectively missed recruiting goals by 41,000 recruits. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1996 to 2016. I am a 100% disabled combat veteran. I did go to Afghanistan and Iraq. And listen, we're going to have an open discussion. And I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that I definitely will tell you is that number one, the U.S. military does not take care of military spouses. The only time that you hear about military spouses is when you hear about military spouses is always when somebody dies or either a person is getting promoted. Number two, they're not preparing the U.S. military to get out. I'm keeping it 100% real. This is my experience. And then three, they just don't take care. I don't think that they do a good job at financial literacy for military people either. Okay. Listen, there were 71,000 U.S. Marines on Camp Pendleton. Guess how many financial planners there were on base? Take a guess. Put the number in the chat. How many financial planners do you guys think that was on base? Put the number in the chat, guys. Put the number in the chat right now. How many licensed financial planners do you believe that was on the military installation on Camp Pendleton? One licensed financial planner on the military installation. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are rocking out with us. This is going to be a controversial topic, but I'm going to talk to you guys about our experiences in the U.S. military. You guys get to ask any questions about the U.S. military. Okay. And we're going to have a couple of Navy people, Army people, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard people in here. And then we're just going to rock out and have a real conversation tonight. It might get a little spicy, guys. So, if you're not ready for it, man, hey, you're in the wrong show, okay? So we're going to be talking about now also as we go along, we're going to be talking about a couple of nuggets that you guys possibly want to know about some of the things that you need to know about financial literacy while serving in the U.S. military. Okay, so we're going to talk about what it is, people's experience. And then also we're going to be bringing some people up to talk about some of the things that they recommend to get our military back where it needs to be. Okay. Now, who has questions or comments that they would like to add to the stage before we start rocking out, guys? Anybody want any comments? What do you think about the recruiting goal? All right.
I think it's a marketing issue, man. They dropped the ball on that. They just dropped the ball. I mean, look at these kids now. Look what where their focus is. We got everybody trying to. I bet they wouldn't have a problem recruiting TikTok influencers, Instagram influencers. Like, these kids don't even want to go outside, yet alone join the military. They too comfortable, man. It's just a different generation, bro.
I totally agree, and I'm gonna ask a hard question, guys. What do you guys think if a war was to go down right now? If we had an issue, do you think that we would have a recruiting problem getting people in the military right now? Because kids can get on TikTok right now and then go viral, and then get paid. They're not trying to do that anymore. Okay, I'm just keeping it real, man. You can't keep military people in. That's why we have an issue. You know, the pride and belonging is just not there anymore, man. From what I experience. Now, while we're here, I'm going to run some statistics down, and this is an open discussion, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Glenn. Welcome to the show. Ping some people into the space right now. We're going to be talking about a controversial topic. Is the U.S. military prepared to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic, in 2024? Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing this to your hallway. For people on TikTok, for every 1,000 people, this conversation is a touchy one. And then we're going to be doing these night shows on a regular basis. So thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate you guys. Now, I'm going to open up the mic to Bruno. Can you tell me what your transition was like? What was your transition like getting out of the military? And tell us how long that you served. How long did you serve in the U.S. Coast Guard?
So I did 20 years in the Space Force, right? I was intergalactical.
What does the Space Force do, man? You know what I'm saying?
Star Trek. That's Star
Hey,
Trek,
look,
bro. I'm telling you.
hey.
Infinity.
All I'm saying, you better put some respect on it. You better put some respect on it. Is all I'm saying, right? I was an intergalactical sergeant first class. But nah, man, jokes aside, man, I was in the Marine Corps for 20 years. You know, I mean, my transition, man, I think that mine was a little bit different than most, right? Like, I already knew that I was going to be getting out, probably 16 years before I retired,
Oh my
right?
God.
But it was, you know, it was one of those, man, that I was already in the process of transitioning, man, and but it was kind of scary, man, just because of the just how much you kind of become dependent on the military. You know what I mean? It's like this false sense of security, the security blanket that you get, and you know, it just, I mean, shit, man, it was all on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a culture shock to say the least, but um you know, I mean, I love to serve, man, but I think it goes in line with what I'm doing now, which is continuing to serve. You know what I mean? Still being around the veteran community and the military and serving people and being around that, just because it's what I grew to love, man, after 20 years, you know?
Yeah, and I got Ben. Thank you, Ben, for saying that. Okay, I got Ben on TikTok. He says 10 years of soft 5 deployments and just finished my first sergeant time and transitioning out. It's scary. See, this is the people, Ben, I'm glad that you said that, man. I'm going to invite you up on stage if you could come up, Ben, because see, guys, we want to hear from you guys. Okay, so listen, I'm going to tell you right now, when I was in the military, right, I knew beyond, okay, I'll give you guys an example. For one, when I got back from Afghanistan, I was a different person. Straight up. I was not the same person. I was a mean dude. Okay. I was paranoid. I couldn't sleep. You know, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about these things that a lot of people don't know, guys. I'm okay. I look okay, but guess what? I'm up every day at 2:00. I sleep 4 to 5 hours. Okay. And then also I'm very edgy. And then I was on the MCRD San Diego for 7 years yelling at people. So you inherit that, and then your family has to adjust to that, and it's very, very difficult for your family to have to adjust to that. But guess what? It's just like they're supposed to just take it. I'm gonna tell y'all something that happens a lot, guys, and a lot of people don't know about the military, guys. A lot of people will have a successful military career, but at the expense of their family. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm being real, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if I'm being real. Straight up. People will go to combat. They will do everything for the military. They will go in the military with their family, or they'll get a family while in the military. But when they're leaving the military, they're leaving the military. And guess what? Guess how many phone calls I get from the United States Marine Corps? 0. Guess how many people that I've served and went to combat with that I talk to on a regular basis? None. Not one person. Now, I do have little friends and stuff like that, but yeah, I get my check from being, but imagine doing something for 20 years and then having to switch. And guess what? All of the awards and accolades and all of the stuff that you've done in the military don't mean a damn thing in the civilian world at all. So you could be the greatest Marine. You can have 10 Purple Hearts. Guess what? I could be at the and you could tell that's people when you go to the, when people go to the, when they go to the, what do you call it? When you go to medical, you could tell the people.
VA?
Yeah. When you go to the VA hospital, you could tell the people who have an issue with letting it go. I mean, jump in, guys. I mean, Otis, Bruno, what do you think? Jose's on stage. Jose's still active duty. He's transitioning out. And my brother Kyler Bear is down in the listening lounge. Eugene is in the U.S. Navy. Guys, if you want to speak, I want to hear your voice. I just don't want to be up here talking, but I'm telling you my own personal experience of my U.S. military career. Am I proud of being a U.S. Marine? Absolutely. Do I have pride and belonging? Absolutely. But guess what? When you don't have any deployments and stuff going on, and then a service member can get in, and then Rosie's here. I'm glad Rosie's here because Rosie is transitioning out, and I want her to share her story as a female serving in the U.S. Navy. Guys, I'm telling you, it's not everybody. It's not what you think it is. Okay, the mic is open. And guys, thank you guys for rocking out with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about is the America's Military Week right now. Okay, and we're going to talk about service members who have served. You don't have to be a service member, but if you want to ask questions, you can come up and ask us questions. And we want to hear from you what you guys think, because this is not just a one-way thing. But I'm speaking as a veteran that served from 1996 to 2016 in several combat deployments, and I'm giving you real-time experience of things and bringing awareness of what we have to do. Now, the mic is open. Who wants to speak? Any questions or comments before we continue to move along?
Yeah, let me ask you, Anthony. Would you let your son join the military?
No.
Hey, man, I'm right there with you. That was a quick conversation.
Nope. I would not want my child. I would not want my child to. Okay, Clarence, that Zoom is for you to register. So the Zoom that's in the link, guys. I put a Zoom link in the chat. That's for our VA loan masterclass tomorrow at 9, tomorrow, 805 College Boulevard, Suite 103. So if you're a veteran and you want to register, we have an event taking place on how to maximize the VA home loan benefit. If you guys are interested in that, click the link. But this conversation is mainly about, the transitioning and the preparedness of transitioning family members out of the U.S. military, guys. Now, I have a couple of people that are on stage, and I want to go over to my brother, Kyler. Kyler, you are in the process of transitioning. You just transitioned from active duty to the reserves. I have a real question for you. How did the U.S. military prepare your wife for that transition?
They definitely didn't prepare my wife. I don't know how you get prepared for something like that, because it's so much all at once, and it's definitely. I've talked about this. Just the lack of support that there is for spouses in the military, I think, is absurd.
Yeah, and listen, look, the service member transitions. I mean, and the wife is collateral damage. Let's be honest, okay? Now, the reason why I'm talking to you guys is because I want to bring awareness to y'all. Okay, this is really happening, right? And now, don't you think? Now, why would a person want to stay in the military and then make it a career when, for one, they have to sacrifice their personal time, they're sacrificing their body for what? free college, the VA home loan benefit that they never talk about. Okay. They don't, guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Did you guys know that they don't even allow people to talk about the VA home loan benefit? They don't even allow people on base to talk about that stuff. We had to fight for almost 15 years to get on base to talk about that stuff. Why? Because the U.S. military wants you to be interdependent on the 1st and the 15th on that paycheck. Now, here's the deal, guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that a service member would be more prepared if they had financial literacy to go to combat. And put a 2 in the chat if you believe that it doesn't matter. That's a fundamental thing. Now, I got my brother over here, Jose Lopez. Jose, hey, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you guys for coming up. Heart the hell out of this space. We're going to be doing spaces like this. Now, we're talking about the service members right now. If you hear different conversations going from different links, okay? I'm on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, okay, and Farmers Only right now. You know what I'm saying? All right. Welcome to the show. Okay. All right. We usually do winning real estate rooms, but we wanted to do is America's Military Week. Straight up. I want you guys to tell us your experience if you have served in the U.S. military. Okay. And I want you guys to come up and ask any questions that you may have. I got my brother, Jose Lopez. Lopez, how long have you served in the U.S. military? Brother Lopez.
Well, I served for a total of 19 years and currently transitioning to retire November 1st of 2024.
Now, Jose, how many phones? Let me ask. Can I ask you a series of questions, please? And I know your beautiful queen is sitting next to you, telling you to get off Clubhouse because I know you just got home. All right, but I have a question for you. How many out of your 19 years of faithful service to our country? How many times have they had communication with just the military spouses on their mental mind state? How much training have they had about dealing with your ass?
I think pretty much everybody on the stage hit the nail on the head. It's very little to zero interaction. I mean, they have programs, that they speak of, but there's really nobody checking in on the military spouse, other than close friends.
You heard it right there. Now, how do you feel about your transition out of the military?
Wow.
Be honest. I want you to tell us straight up how you feel.
I think Bruno hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think I've known that I wanted to retire. I was going to do 20, but I think the transitioning phase is kind of like an independent phase. In joining, everybody's got in your hand. You're being walked through the process. When it's time for you to leave, members or your brothers and sisters will look at you as you're being selfish, because the last 19 years you've been devoted to, putting everybody first. And when it's your time, it's kind of, a good example is you want to do a skill bridge program. You're going to get the runaround. You're going to get asked, who's a replacement? Is there a replacement? Can mass automatic gun run the shot while you're gone? So it's kind of, they make it a little more harder, and they make you feel as, you're thinking of yourself when you should be thinking about your command as you retire, and it's by no means, I hope I'm not offending anybody that's in a leadership position. I just think that, on your way out, it's more of you figure it out as you transition out. And you get some leadership that may want to provide some help, but very few. You don't run into all that. You don't run into many leaders as... I'm sorry, I'm breaking up.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you, brother. Okay, so...
Yeah, I think that...
And listen to this. The suicide rate per 100,000 service members, 28.9 in the U.S. Army, 20.6 in the U.S. Navy, and 19.7 in the U.S. Air Force. Okay? No one died by suicide in the Space Force, according to the Pentagon. Okay, in total, 61 active duty Marines and 6 Marine reservists died by suicide in 2022.
What about the Coast Guard? Who committed suicide in the Coast Guard?
So the reason why I'm talking about this, Pogue Actual, man, come up, bro. I really want you to be a part of this conversation, man, because, I know that we're talking about a hot topic, but I'm telling you, man, look, there's people on active duty. Some people have different experiences, but I'm telling you guys, man, I think that we need to bring more awareness on what's going on because, now, let me be clear. Now, by no means do I believe that the military's preparedness to defend our nation is not superior above any other branch of service. But what I am saying is that if we have a recruiting issue, okay, of 41,000 service members, that's a problem. That is a problem. That means that we cannot find people to serve voluntarily in our United States Armed Forces. Now, in retrospect, we are going to a different style of war, right? The days of going back to the old, tanks and people is over. Cyber warfare and unarmed aircraft and military vehicles is the future, right? Drones. However, right? Man, I can get into this stuff, man. I'm trying to not take it so political, man. But I mean, if you think about it, man, you guys need to be aware of what's going on. Okay. And I could talk about it. Now, does anybody have any comments or questions to add to what I'm talking about? Eugene, U.S. Navy. Eugene, how long have you been in the U.S. Navy?
18 years.
Okay. What are you seeing from your experience from, keeping people in the military versus, where you are today versus where it used to be? How do you feel about where we are in the state of the U.S. military today?
Attrition rates is bad. They're giving recruits 25,000 just to join the military. People are getting out. We just was talking about a sailor that was E5. She got out after like 8 years because she was making $90,000 a month on OnlyFans. So she brought her contract out. Just like you said, the deployments. When it's time to leave, how they look at you negatively. A couple of my shipmates, they looked at them bad. Like they're getting out and they talk bad about them. And just like Jose was talking about, they dedicated 19, 20 years and they got to fight just to get skill bridge. But that's what I've seen so far. The biggest thing I can say is just listening from my mentors such as you, Tony, Bruno. I'm just trying to prepare myself so when it's time for me to transition, that the hurdles ain't as hard.
Now, what you transitioning into there? Eugene, all right. Eugene is formerly known as he's a cat now. All right. So, hey, listen. Hey, if you're gonna get butthurt about the stuff we're talking about here tonight, you in the wrong room, man. Because this is gonna be winning real estate uncut. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Glenn. I'm in sunny Southern California. I got some of my friends here. This is a no butthurt zone. If you're in here and you don't want to get, if you get all offended and stuff like that for people picking on you, you're in the wrong space. But right now we want to talk about this stuff and tell people, about what's going on. And I see Ashley, she said, I did 3 years active duty. I'm now a reservist and about to go active guard reserve. Okay, Ashley, come to the stage because we want to hear from you too, because we want to know what it's like serving in the guard. We want to know all of this stuff, guys, because I'm telling you right now, man, from my perspective, I'll give you an example right now. I want to talk about something that is, I want to share something with y'all, man. Can I put a 1 in the chat if I can share something with y'all, man? I want to talk about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about this, and some people might think that, okay, so the withdrawal from Afghanistan, I think we lost how many? 13? What was the last? Let me look this up. How many troops?
Yeah, I think it was 12 in country and then 13 total after the injury of the one that got brought back.
Okay, Bruno, do you want to talk about that? What do you believe could have been done different in the event that in that situation under this administration?
Man, so I think that it felt as if it was like a knee jerk type of reaction, man, and I think that looking at how we move and how we do things, man. So I was a part of the I was a part of the insursion or the reinsurgent back into Helmand Province in 2009, right? Like I was there. I was like literally in a helicopter as we were going in and flying in. And man, the process for the planning for us to insert, right? Dog, I'm talking about like largest helo-borne insert since Vietnam, right? Like it was it was long, right? It was like it was long. It was strategic. It was and it. But then you go and you take a look at how it was that we withdrew, man. And for me, like I had a hard time, man. Like mind you, like and I wasn't even a part of the withdrawal, but I had a hard time in seeing what was done because I had spent a significant amount of time right in theater, dog, like patrolling, talking to people, right? Like I was the guy that was, interrogating people and walking around and swearing to the Afghans that we were gonna be there to provide all sorts of things, right? And I remember, man, like the village elders looking at us and telling us, like, no, man, like you guys aren't gonna be here. You know what I mean? Like you guys are gonna leave, and I'm over there, like believing in the cause, bro, talking about like, no, 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 we're gonna be here, we're doing all this and trying to get people to like, try to sway people to, side with us so we can help them from the Taliban and do all sorts of stuff, man. And like seeing that.
Oh, Bruno got zapped by the hey, we might have to shut this room down, man. They done
NSA.
Hey, the U.S. government done already. They done got you, Bruno. Hey, what happened?
Bruno had an accident.
I think my I don't know, man. Like my phone locks up and then it gets all weird. But no, I mean, so I think the thing that I was getting at is we were, talking to the people there, man, and the local nationals, man, telling them that we were there to provide help and do all sorts of stuff, man, and like
Emissions, dog.
And like the way that we pulled out, man, you know what I mean, and the way that we left, man, like. People don't understand, man. Like we left so many people hanging, man. Like like we didn't leave in a way where it was this transitional thing, dog. Like it took the Taliban a total of what was it, like 21 days or some shit like that for them to take over the entire country of Afghanistan,
Yep.
right? Like dog, 21 days, bro. So it was, man. It was. We dropped the ball on that shit, man.
Now, guys, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and then does anybody have any questions or comment? Ashley, thank you for coming to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about, is the U.S. military weak? We want to know what your thought process is. This is a tough one, man, because, and the reason why we're doing this was we're talking about the state of our U.S. military, okay? We have active duty and out people that are out, and we're just listening to opinions. And then you don't have to be in the military to give your opinion. And if you have questions, feel free to join the stage, guys. Welcome to the night show. My name is Anthony Glenn. I'm your gracious host. United States Marine Corps, retired Iraq, Afghanistan combat vet. Okay, 100% disabled combat veteran, and I'm an entrepreneur, and we're bringing this stuff, and we're going to talk about everything from military spouses, financial literacy, how to partner with veterans, and then also some opportunities from a financial perspective that you guys could utilize for your benefit in the future. Let me tell you what my thought process is about this situation, okay? All right, so I flew into Bagram, a couple of months, not even a year after, I don't know how many, really, really soon after 9/11. Okay. We were there. Okay. And when I got there, I remember sitting in the office at lunchtime, and I saw we had the tube TV. Y'all remember the TV that's on wheels? You can it's like a stand and it has wheels on it. And it's like a tube TV.
Oh, classroom TVs.
Yeah. Classroom TV. I remember sitting in the office, and and then the first plane hit, and we thought it was kind of eerie, right? And then I'm like, damn, that looks crazy. And then it was on the news, and then right after that, another one hit, and then what happened is that the sergeant major, and they call us all down to outside for a formation, and they just said, hey guys, just let you guys know, get ready, because more than likely we're going to be deployed. Right. So shortly after that, we did our screening docs to see who's going to go. And we immediately started planning. And then after that, within 90 days of us getting the plan, we were already sending 4 people forward to Afghanistan to set up. So we flew into Afghanistan. They took a forward operating crew. We attached to 10th Mountain, and it was called Task Force Red Dog in Afghanistan. And then that was my first combat mission. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was excited, the adrenaline and everything else. But shit, I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. You don't know what's going on, right? We flew in at night. Okay, we had low light when we got there, and then after that, we went there and it was nothing there. We didn't have up armored vehicles, nothing. We had pickup trucks to get us around, and then we had Humvees and we had 5 tons over there, and we got them over there through C5s, right? So when we landed in Bagram Air Base, and then Bagram Air Base, we went forward to ABAD and JBAD, and that was my first experience with being over there. Okay. And it was crazy over there because they were rocketing us every week while we were there. We were taking mortar fire every week. And then the rules of engagement, since we were attached to an Army unit, was different. So when you come back from a situation like that and you've been over there and you lose people, okay, and people get killed, it's disappointing to see where, they announce, hey, we're going to, egress from Afghanistan, and then they shut down a strategic military air base that was secure for 20 years. Now, let me explain to you what I feel happened. Okay. For one, if people are going to start to talk, if the U.S. military has been protecting people and then they start to form a democracy for the locals, and then women are starting to go to school and everything else, and they start to westernize a country like that, they're interdependent on our protection. So when you're over there and then, automatically you say, hey, we're going to shut down, people get scared, man, because they already know what's going to happen. All right. You guys gotta think, like, imagine, okay, let me give you an example. Imagine you have military vehicles going to the airport with no protection. So of course we're a sore thumb. My experience, I believe what they should have done is they should have kept Bagram Air Base there. Okay, they should have started egressing people out of there in waves, right? A small people at a time, and kept enough people there, and then left a rear party to take everybody else out, and then let the secure base go. Why are you going to a civilian airport to get people out? Well, we've been going in and out and moving things in and out of Bagram Air Base for 21 years. It didn't make sense to me. Now, the mic is open, guys. Okay, so think about it. If you got military troops, and then you got a border patrol, and there's no protection, of course somebody's going to blow somebody up, man. And then you use government contracts and you charter a civilian aircraft to get us out of there. There was no protection. That's why we lost 13 people. It was very disappointing, man. It's like, damn, we've been getting people out that year. Think about it. If you go and look at the troops, I'm going to look this up right now so you guys can listen to this, okay? So how many U.S. troops casualties from 20, let's go, for the last 10 years. Okay, so let me see here. Active duty military manner, U.S. allies killed in war. Okay, casualty report. So in totality, 9/11 lost 7,000 troops. Okay, and I'm going to look up year over year how many people that we lost. Okay, and then now, while I'm looking that up, man, the mic is open. What do you guys think about that egress? Do you think that it was strategic? And anybody feel free to jump in. Ashley, I see you on stage. How are you guys preparing yourself right now in the reserves for anything to go on? What are you guys focusing on? Ashley Williamson?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm back and forth working and doing some other stuff. Honestly, I don't even know. What I do know is that they're talking about going to Poland and Iraq and a couple of other places. But as far as like what they're doing exactly, I don't know. And I'm a motor transport operator, so we drive the the heavy equipment. Hold on one second. So we drive the trucks and everything like that. But as far as like what's going on, seeing that I'm lower enlisted, I, I don't have too much information of like what's going on behind the scenes. I just know that they're talking about deployments and they're asking for volunteers, and if they don't have enough volunteers, then they're going to volunteer us who's going and who's not. So like I said, I don't have all the ins and outs. I'm new to the military. I did 3 years active Army in Hawaii, and I'm now here in Texas, and I'm in the reserve. Only been here for a few months, reserve, but I decided I'll do AGR, um, to go back full time. But I can't even say.
What made you get? Let me ask you a question. What made you get out?
Uh, it ain't easy being a single parent, and you have trainings and things like that, and I had to find someone to look after my daughter. So it was a number of things. It was leadership, it was the constant training and having to make preparations for my daughter, and it was just a lot of stuff going on that I was just like, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be for me. I'm like, it's not gonna be a long-term thing. This is just gonna be a stepping stone until I make preparations to get into something else. um, that's honestly why I got out active, but then I'm considering active AGR, and that's for a whole nother set of different reasons.
And thank you for sharing that. And then that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. Like single parents. What I mean, what? Let's talk about it, y'all. Who else wants to jump in on this conversation, man? Because I think people need to hear this stuff, man. Like what people are really dealing with in the U.S. military.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Tony. This is Kalila. I usually don't talk much in these rooms. I'm usually listening, but when it comes to military stuff, oh, I get hyped. So, kind of answering the question, is America's military weak, right? I did 22 years active duty in the Air Force. My first job was loading bombs on F-16, and then the last 18 years I did medical. And served in various areas. I did special duties. I'm a combat veteran. I went to Iraq, and I'm also a disabled veteran. What made me, and I've been retired 3 years. What made me get out was the changes. And I want to say this: I love these rooms. Every man and woman that's on here that shares nuggets, I love these rooms because 22 years active duty. Okay, I learned more about the VA loan in the last couple of months through Anthony's rooms than I ever learned being in the military. I learned nothing. The military taught me nothing about the VA loan, and I was upset because I got out and I was behind.
Mhm.
I could have, I was a single parent pretty much my whole career, so I could have been flipping homes. And listen, I didn't buy my first home until the last 2 years I was in the military. So I know the Air Force is behind when it comes to teaching on financial literacy and even how to, use the VA loan. So that part was just terrible to me. But as far as being weak, um, I don't, I, I won't. I don't think it's the military structure itself. For me, as a leader, it was the quality of what was coming in, okay? And the fact that now the military started catering to the quality of airmen that were coming in. So it's like instead of when we joined, you know, when you got a new troop, you had the first 2 years of kind of indoctrinating them, getting uh, them from being civilian minded to military minded. And then they usually would do well as they serve. Now it's more like the military is conforming to the ways of this generation and it's not healthy. So it's weak in the sense of we don't have strong minded individuals to do what the military is called to do, because now you got people that serve that want to be TikTokers. They want to be in uniform and on TikTok instead of doing their job. So when it comes to weak, I don't know if it's the system. I just think it's the quality of what's coming in, and it's kind of forcing each branch to change, which is, some of it is good, some of it is needed. But when it comes to the war fighter, I'm even scared. if a real war broke out just because of the quality of what I saw coming in.
You don't want to
And
send them TikTokers out there, Philly. Like, you don't want to send them.
Playing Call of
listen,
Duty, man. Hell no.
The
listen,
whole war be on a cell phone.
I'm gonna kill your
exactly.
ass. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. It's scary. And then we're not, the military is not competitive enough financially, like money wise, dollar for dollar. It's not competitive enough to keep anybody in. Like somebody just said, he had a troop. I think it was Eugene. He said he had a troop um got out because she was making 90,000 on OnlyFans. Come on, we don't make enough in the military, So yeah, retention is going to be hard, and even after COVID, they're still not really finding ways for retention. They can't the military, it can't compete. And then if they're keeping secrets like about stuff with how to use your VA loan, come on, right now a lot of people are getting into real estate,
Yep.
so it doesn't help them to gatekeep these things. So
And
that's just my 2 cents.
and let me tell you the story real quick, guys. Listen to this. Okay. When I was going to school. Okay. And then we were doing some military training, and I was a senior Marine at the time. And I was going to school for my master's degree, and there was nothing going on. And I had a young officer, right, that was giving me a hard time on going to school. Where we were at now, they would go to out of the field, and they would go get their coffee and do all types of other stuff. And I was going to school to better myself on my transition. I think I was around 15 years at the time. And do you know that military officer wouldn't even let me go to do it was nothing going on. We were just sitting there. They would go do things, and I couldn't even go. I almost didn't. I was having issues, and I had to postpone getting my master's degree because they wouldn't allow me to go to a location that had internet for me to finish my school. Right. And then they were giving me they was putting a lot of pressure on me as well. So guys, these are really things that are happening. Like anything outside of you doing your regular job or anything for that seeking self-improvement, they promote all of that stuff. But depending on I'll tell you another thing too. My daughter, all right, bless her heart, she was born with a helmet on. Okay. I'm going to say this. All right. My daughter was born with that football helmet she had to wear because, her head was shaped funny. I just had my daughter when she was, when I was leaving MCRD San Diego. Okay. This was 2013. Okay. I had just had my daughter, and that was a very, very hard duty station. And I excelled there. And do you know that they were going to send me, after doing that very hard duty, they was about to send me on another deployment again. Oh, you just had your daughter, time to pack up. You're going to Japan, and you're going to be on a rotation. Okay. That has, you're going to be doing 3 combat tours a year unaccompanied without your family. After doing MCRD San Diego, one of the hardest billets in the Marine Corps. Right. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to get to decide on whatever you want to do. There's people really going through this stuff right now, guys. Like, you have no clue how hard it is to. Now, another thing that she was talking about, I want to highlight single parents. Now, let's really talk about this. Okay, let me ask a question, guys. Listen, on stage right now. Welcome to the show, guys. We're talking about, is America's military weak? That's the question. I know it's a hard question. We're going to be talking about this stuff, guys. My name is Anthony Glenn. I'm a U.S. Marine retired. For those of you that are on our social media platforms, thank you guys for joining. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. This is a night room. Typically, we do win in real estate, but tonight we just wanted to have this conversation. We do have an event taking place tomorrow. Okay, talking about financial literacy for military people called the VA Loan Masterclass. We'll be teaching how civilians and military people can take advantage of the VA Home Loan benefit. For those of you who are interested in that, text VA Loan to 760-385-8211. If you are a non-military person and you want to know about how to partner with a vet and buy multi-units with zero money down, text WIN to 760-385-8211. Now, let's get back to the topic. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, military spouses. Single parents. Let's talk about that first. I want to highlight that. Okay, what time, anybody right now that's on stage that served in the military, what time do you guys have to show up for PT, physical fitness training?
About 2 hours after the Marines do. So about, if at all. What branch are you asking, Anthony? I know you ain't asking the Navy. We was like PT. What is that? Y'all got to do that while y'all in? No, I don't. We don't do that. So I'm sorry.
So, if I can answer for the Army, it's 0630. We got be information about 15 minutes early, so 0615, and then we actually start 030.
Okay, so
Sorry, 0630. My bad.
0630. Okay, so 0630. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Where's your kid at? If you got how old were you when you were showing up at 0630? Simple question. Where were you taking your child when you had to go to PT at 0630 in the morning?
So my kid, she would still be in the house sleep. I will leave her in the bed sleep, and then after PT, I'll come back, get her ready for school, take her to the bus stop, and then start my day.
Now, how old was she at the time?
I'm sorry, she was 12. She's 13 now. So 11 and 12. She was 11 and 12. She's 13. She just turned 13.
Now, don't be
Uh,
telling on yourself. Your kid was like 2 and you used to do that. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
she's a bit older, so she can stay in the house by herself. So I will leave her in there when I have to get up for PT.
I remember many nights with me leaving work, right? Leaving to go to work, my kids will be asleep. And then when I got home, my kids will be asleep. So, it was times I remember that. Okay. So being straight up serious, and you know what? Don't get in any trouble. Don't have any reprimand in the military. Okay. Especially not in the combat zone. Your career is over. Okay. Straight up. Right. You make any mistakes and stuff like that, and you got poor leadership, you make a mistake in the military, good luck. Okay. Then sometimes it takes months to recover from. Let me tell y'all a situation that I had, and this kind of changed my thought process, man. I remember I was having my troops show up, my U.S. Marines show up for PT at 0615. Okay. And they'd have to be there. 6:30 was PT. They would have to show up 15 minutes prior. Now, for those of you who don't know, what'll happen is that if you say 6:30, and you're in a leadership position, that person underneath you is telling them to show up at what time? 6:15. Put it in
6 a.m.
6 a.m. 30 minutes prior. So now you're talking about 5:35, 5 o'clock to show up to do exercises and stuff like that. And you know what I saw? I saw a young man with his children in the car seat, kids sleep. And I said, what's going on? He said, man, I couldn't find anybody to watch my kids. And I felt like crap. I'm like, damn, and it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to have childcare plan. But right, if that service member didn't show up, he would have got fried. I had no clue that he didn't have a childcare plan. Then when I started to peel the onion back as a leader, the dude was living paycheck to paycheck, trying to take care of his family, drinking every day, stressed. This stuff is really going on, guys. People say thank you for your service and have no clue, man. I'm telling you straight up, I'm getting text messages. Thank you guys for being on the show. Thank you for the text messages, man. This is a hot topic. I'm telling you guys real stuff that's going on in the military. Bruno, can you share some things? And guys, if you're on Instagram or Facebook and you guys want to communicate with us, you can type it in the chat. I will read it. Guys, this is real stuff that's happening in the U.S. military. Why in the hell would I want to stay in when I have that type of lifestyle in the military? It's stressful.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, it's Beth. I have never been in the military, but I did get my degree on a military base in Little Creek, Infant
Yeah.
base. Yep.
I know what you're talking about. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And, the guys that were coming home and were guys and girls, right? They were going to college with me, night classes, trying to work it out. And then they were telling me They were going in and getting loans against their paychecks to try to put food on the table. It made me sick to my stomach. I mean, as I was riding through, which is St. Leo on Little Creek, for everybody to go there to take off-campus courses, right?
Mhm.
But these guys were taking out loans against, I don't even know where you go. Amscot? I don't even know where they go to get loans against their paychecks. But I was sitting there on a GI Bill that my biological father had put on his paperwork that he was paying for my college at the time. He wasn't, but that was the only way he could figure out how to get his money back from the government, was to say he was paying for my college, which my stepdad was paying for my college, but it benefited me at the end, but it benefited him at the end of his life from being a United States veteran. And my sister is a veteran, my brother-in-law, and my whole family are veterans. And when I came across you, you and I have been friends for quite some time.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, when you stand up for our veterans that go out and you see how hard they're working, there is so much you give up to give back to our country. It's hard sometimes. You have to do the leave quietly and walk out of a room, or just sit there with your mouth shut. You want to tell them, you know what, go F yourself, because we love our country. We wouldn't put our lives on the line for this. And even though I haven't been in the military, I've been married to a gentleman we'll be married 22 years in June, that gave up 36 years of his life to protect our homeland security and our ground here as a law enforcement officer. So it just, there's so much out there that people have to look at. But man, Anthony, every time you open up a room, I love everything you say, because guys, if you do not know him, please follow him, because he is absolutely amazing and the truth comes out. Love you, Anthony.
Love you too, Beth, guys. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience, because this is really happening too, guys. And let me read this, guys. Okay. This is the start of a long drought for military recruiting, said Lieutenant General Thomas, okay, a think tank. He said the military has not had such a hard time since recruiting since 1973, guys. The year the U.S. military left Vietnam and the draft over ended, okay? Right now, it says pool of these eligible to join military continues to shrink, which more young men and women than ever disqualified for obesity. Listen to this, guys. This is real stuff that's happening, and a lot of people don't know this. Obesity, drug use, or criminal record. Last month, Army Chief General testified before Congress that only 23% of Americans aged 17 to 24 are qualified to serve without a waiver to join. Only 23%. Guys, this is a problem. Okay? 23% of Americans ages 17 to 24 are qualified to serve without a waiver to join, down from 29 in recent years. Okay? A survey upturned by NBC found that only 9% of those young Americans eligible to serve in the military had any inclination to do so. 9% of the American population wants to serve, of those young men. So now people are like, hell no, I'm not joining the military. For what? So this is happening right now, and this is a thing that we're facing now. Okay, let me see. 13% have parents who had served in the military, down from approximately 40% in 1995. The military considers parents one of the biggest influencers that serve. People are telling their kids to do other things. Okay. So when we're looking at this scenario, it's a lot of stuff going on with our U.S. military that a lot of people are not looking at. All right. So why now? You just heard me as a U.S. Marine, active, 20-year veteran. I'm telling y'all, man, my son wants to join the military. No. You're going to take your butt to school. You're an entrepreneur already. Okay. And you can serve your country by supporting the military. I don't want my kids to serve in the military. And I'm being honest. Okay. Now, if they want to do that, that's fine. But, I'm just telling you, what's up, guys? And thank you for coming to the show. Who else wants to jump in, guys? This is the night show. We're talking about the state of our U.S. military. We're talking about the issues that real active duty people are facing. Okay. I'll tell you what the ones are. Financial illiteracy is a number one cause, I think, why service members are getting out. Number two, the quality of life will be number two. And then number three would be, finding other opportunities, right? Finding better opportunities elsewhere. That's why I feel like people are not staying in today's U.S. military. And this is coming from a combat vet of 20 years of faithful service to our country. Now,
Tony, can I add something real
absolutely,
quick?
jump in.
To piggyback off what you just said, same thing. I have older children. I tell them like, yo, go to school, do. But if they decide to join, that's great. But let me say this: another issue that the military is not even appealing to people anymore for retention purposes is because when they changed the retirement model to mimic a 401k style, it doesn't even make it worth doing the 20 years like some of us did.
You know what? I forgot all about that. They did change the retirement. I forgot all about that. That's
It's
true.
called the blended retirement system now, and like I said, it mimics the 401k model but when you looked at it, when I did the comparison, because they tried to get some of us to switch over, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, because it's not even worth doing 20 years anymore with that model.
Damn. I forgot all about that. Okay, that's you're right. So and for those of you who don't know, there's a couple of things. What a great conversation explaining the military weakness and how societal concerns are impacting our military. Guys, we're telling y'all straight up, man. You're hearing it from active duty and reserve people. Okay, we're not bad. Now, for one, let me tell you, we're not bashing on the military, but we want your input. What do you guys think about this scenario? Is America prepared to sustain our U.S. Armed Forces with 41,000 troops short? I don't know if y'all know how big that is. 41,000 troops short. That means that training, sustaining equipment, experience, that's a big hit to our United States military. And we're trying to figure out, why aren't people staying in? Why are people getting out? Yes, why would a sane parent send their child off to a possible death sentence? Do they know the hell and pain it is to carry birth a child? The 9 months of hell, the long hours of labor, the recovery from C-sections just for them to become a crash dummy? No, sir. Okay. Hey, that's what I want to hear, man. I'm going to tell you straight up. You know the reason why Anthony Glenn joined the military? Because I was a damn dirtbag. I needed some discipline. Okay. I tried to go to school. I was turning up at school. Okay. Hanging out with people I shouldn't have been hanging out with. Okay. And then I had a choice. Okay. Do you want to go into, my dad said, hey, you got to get the hell up out of here because you're not staying at home. All right. So I tried to go to school for a little bit. School didn't work out. I said, look, man, I got to go do something. So I joined the worst branch, the hardest branch of service, the United States Marine Corps. Let me tell y'all a funny story, man. I went into the, okay, so I'll tell y'all a quick story. Y'all gonna laugh at this one, man. So I was an athlete, in school. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna talk to some people. And then when I went into the Marine, I went into the Navy's office, and well, actually, no, I went into the Air Force office first, right? They wasn't there. Okay. So then I went into the Army. The Army was offering me all types of stuff, man. And I felt like they were hustling. They were dapping me up and all types of other stuff. So I was like, man, I don't know about that. I went into the Navy's office because I interviewed the Navy, Army, Air Force, and Marine Corps. I went into the Navy's office and they had on them tight pants. I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm wearing them tight pants. They had those tight pants. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Them bell bottom, the apple bottom jeans. Okay. So I said, hell no, Jack. But then I went into the Marine Corps office, right? And then I said, well, I'm an athlete. I can run fast and I can do X, Y, and Z. Man, you know that recruiter, Gunnery Sergeant Williams, he took that book. He said, get the F out of my office. The Marine Corps doesn't owe you nothing. But he said it with an S. He said, we don't want anybody who thinks that we're going to give them anything. Everything is earned here. And I was so butthurt that he talk to me like that. I went home and I talked to my mom and she was laughing at me. She said, it sounds like you had an attitude adjustment. Later that week, I signed up. I started running. I did my little entry level thing. And then I went into the United States Marine Corps, 1996, out of Naval Air Station, Atlanta. And that was all she wrote. Okay. Now, who wants to communicate and talk about the topic that we have? Because I'm going to read some stats. The mic is open. Welcome to the Winning Real Estate Night Show. I am your host, and thank you to my co-hosts, Jose, Bruno, Kalila, Miss Velez, Beth, everybody who supports veterans. We really appreciate you guys. For those of you who are on this space, hit the follow button, guys, on Instagram. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis, the night show, and we're going to be having thought-provoking topics. And listen, if you are uncomfortable and you don't want to be here, cool. Okay, you want to really speak about it. You do not have to serve in the military to join this conversation, but I want you guys to talk about it. It is the military week. Dante, go ahead, jump in. The mic's over to you.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Great topic, Tony. I actually joined in '99 out of Naval Air Station, Atlanta, in the Navy, so that's kind of funny. And I got a bunch of stories, but just in relationship to the topic, though, one of the big things that the minute you're in boot camp, they have what do they got? A Great Lakes Credit Union comes in there, at least when I was there, and then they had the Air Force, the Armed Forces Bank come in. And then one thing that even at I think 19, 20 years old, 19, I keyed in on what they were saying. They said, oh, you can get a car loan, but you can get a car loan 110% of the value of the car. So you can get your stereo, rims, and, so it's like
Wow.
right away they're indoctrinating you into that whole mindset. And, the minute you get on base, there's nothing but buy here, pay here, high interest, predatory lending, vehicle situations. And you got guys coming out of all types of circumstances, situations, with no education.
Yep.
And so, with no financial education, so they're easy pickings. And I mean, what are you making as an E1? $700 a month. So then the incentive is to get married. So guys are getting married for the extra, the BAH, the BAQ, basic housing allowance. So you're getting that. And then the incentive is to get married. And then you get yourself in a crazy relationship or something that you shouldn't be getting into. You're not healed up. You're not wherever you're coming from. So I think it's just a cyclical type, like kind of like a sliding down the razor blade into Alcohol River, for a lot of guys. So just that predatory lending, though, really, I remember that too. And that's how a lot of guys got caught up. I mean, they were living for their cars and whatnot, just starting out, at least for the enlisted guys.
That is a fact. Oh my gosh, dog. All right, let me tell y'all a story, y'all. Y'all ready for this one? Put a one in the chat if you want to hear a funny ass story of good old Lance Corporal Glenn. Okay. Going to Navy Federal Credit Union in Hawaii, okay? All right, and then I got that good old military star card, baby. You know what I'm saying? All right. The first car that I bought was a Buick Regal Limited, 1987, from a firefighter that was on base. Now this is Hawaii, so y'all know it rains there a lot. I got my Navy Federal Credit Union. That car was $8,700. $8,700 for a 1986 Buick Regal Limited. All right. Went to Navy Federal Credit Union, got that loan. Now, for those of you who don't know, watch this, guys. Check this out. So what the military does is when you're in boot camp, they make you pick a bank. It's either Navy Federal, Pentagon Federal, USAA. What's the other one? That's it. I think So they make you automatically, so they ain't got to solicit for your business. Okay. So when you're in boot camp, they give you have to have a bank account, and the bank usually is on base so you can transact there. And then as soon as you get out, they don't tell you no education, no nothing about no financial literacy at all. So the first thing that service members do is they go get that whip, man, the car, boom. You set up direct deposit so your stuff goes into your account. And then right after that, they give you, you get your little debit card or whatever so you can rock out. Okay, you get paid on the 1st and the 15th. And the first thing that most military people do is go get a car. I got that car. And then I went over and I got some 12s. Okay. I got I don't know if y'all remember that Alpine CD deck that you can pull the whole stereo out. And that was my car battery. So every time if I didn't turn off the stereo, I would have to have my car jump. And then that car broke down on me in Hawaii after 6 months. So now I got a car loan for $8,700. I got the military star card that's maxed out, all right, on base. And then now I have, I'm like $17,000, $18,000 in debt. And since the car is broke down, you got to register your car on base. So I can't get the car small because it's broke down. And oh, by the way, somebody busted my window and stole the stereo system. So now I got a broke down car at the barracks that I'm paying a month to month on, that they don't impound it on the military lot because my registration is not good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United States military, y'all. Oh, man, put a 1 in the chat if you think that story was insane, man. I want to hear y'all financial stories, being in the military, because, guys, this stuff is really happening. Predatory lending, that interest rate on that car was like 11%. Lisa, I see you off mute. Go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, I just want hello everybody. When Dante shared the piece about the housing and stuff, it reminded me when I was in college in the 80s. I was dating somebody we were dating like in high school, and when I went to college, he went to the Navy. And I was wondering why, like now that I'm listening to Dante, I was like, this is why he kept wanting to get married because he probably wanted housing.
Oh yeah, we want to get that BAH, man, that money. I mean, yes.
He kept sending me catalogs that pick out engagement rings. It was like, come down, because he was in Virginia and I was in upstate New York. And I was like, I was in my first year of college. I'm going to school. I'm getting my degree. Like, you got to know. And so because I didn't do it, he ultimately got a honorable discharge some type of way. I don't know what it was, but I understand now, like his background. We both went to like parochial school, private school, but he was just like one of those, and he played sports, but he just was not that type of a conformist type of guy. And I think it just kind of piggies back to me, like listening to what's going on now. I think that the country has gone through, everybody says that the old days are like we're better now, right, than we were back then because of racism and all the other isms that occurred, and what we like a lot of our generation and our grandparents fought, because all of my both grandfathers fought. One was in the Navy, the other the Army, and I had people in my family that were servicemen. What I think is, it's kind of sad that why can't we, like, I don't understand why we just don't try to maintain the strength, the discipline that we had from the old school people and move it into keep moving it into the future. And somehow with the destruction of the family, the economy, the 9/11, because I heard you brought that up, it's somewhat kind of like deteriorated the fiber of who we are. So whether or not whether it's the military that's weak, or maybe it's just the times that's weak, because it's just not the government. It just is not the government, it's not the military, it's what's going on. And I think that we have weakened. There's an old saying, that each generation gets weaker but wiser, and it's extremely true. Like, it took me some years to understand that. We're wiser in the ways of technology. We're wiser in the ways of, like, we're learning all of these things that we didn't learn about finances, but we're weak because there's a breakdown in, culture, uh, work ethic, you know, And I just wanted to say that I think, I remember 9/11 and something about what happened in 9/11, because I worked downtown New York at that time. I worked at a hospital, and we were waiting for the people that were, once the towers collapsed. I saw the plane go through the first tower when I got out, when I went to the street in the subway, and I looked up. Everybody was staring up into the sky. That whole day we were the hospital, I was in administration, we were waiting to get people, like waiting for people to come to be taken care of. Absolutely no one was brought to that hospital. Like, we were very close. After that time, everything seemed to deteriorate. The financial markets, everything has just absolutely changed. And so it's not just the military, the way that people look at finances, the way that the companies. I worked in HR for 20 something years, and I heard someone else mention how they were converting a pension plan would sound to like a 401k plan. And we were doing that in corporate. That started happening like in 1994, when they started going to HMOs and taking away pension plans and replacing them. So I think it's more about how we are running the country. It should be more paternalistic if you're going to have people give their lives, right? Or sacrifice their lives. We are definitely on a path of everything is like corporate run, the government, the military, and everything else. So I just wanted to say thank you guys, because I do, for all of you who've served. I just want to say thank you, because I appreciate it. My father was in the army. He was a Vietnam veteran, and I think that was one of the, like most of the other wars that I remember reading and studying about. It was more purposeful, tactful. There were certain specific things why we went to World War. We know why we went to World War. The Vietnam War, I had, my father was a lovely man, and when he came back,
He was
he
different.
was not the same. He
Yeah,
wasn't the same man.
yeah, he was.
So I think that we need to, like, it's not that, I don't know, they just need to have some more. They need to pay people better, and they do need to have a better hospital system for when people retire. Like, that's another topic people don't talk about, the hospitals
Oh,
and the
big
health
time.
care.
Big time. So I got
So,
my brother Mark,
once,
and this is
yeah, go
another.
ahead.
This is another thing, guys. Listen, check this out. I put a link above my head, guys. If you guys want to see me in the military, a picture of me in the military, click the link above my head right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to see what I used to look like. I got a picture of me right here. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see the picture? Look, click the link above my head so you guys can take a look at what I used to look like back in the day. All right. This is when I was a lean, mean fighting machine right here. Okay.
Where is it?
Okay. Above my head. You see the link right there? That
Okay.
link, you'll see it.
I'm gonna shut. Oh, okay.
Can you see it? Can y'all see it? Put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah, we can see it, Anthony.
That's what I used to
And I will,
look at that. Freaking warrior,
yeah,
war fighter right there.
I will say, if you are a parent out there and you tell your child that it is a dorky thing to do, ROTC, there are amazing men that I know and women that run these programs throughout our country that teach them discipline, teach them things. And these kids, you know what? They're only in high school for 4 years. That's it. Then a lot of parents throw them out into the world. Would you not want them, which my son, I truly wanted him to be in junior ROTC. Um, my husband, who is law enforcement, was like, nope, we're not putting him into that world. We're not making him into a fighter. And I'm like, but that is our lifestyle, right? Um, but I will tell you that I left the guy I dated back in the day for my husband that I have, that is now the head of security for the United States Air Force. Um, but he was disciplined. Like, I am a very disciplined person. I only surround myself with disciplined people. My son is still very disciplined. Would I have preferred that he did junior ROTC, even if he didn't join the military? It would have been fine with me. But don't ever shut that down. If your kid comes to you and says, I'm looking for, they have to put on their thing, like their choices for extracurricular
Oh,
activities.
Beth, you got it.
Well,
You giving me a good one. This is a good question, Beth. Actually, you gave me a really good question. Put a one in the
okay,
chat.
awesome.
Let me ask you guys a question right now. Beth, thank you for bringing that to the stage because I'm going to ask guys. Put a one in the chat if you have a son and you or a son or a daughter and you would recommend them go in the military. Put a two in the chat if you say no. This is if you have kids or not. Put a one in the chat if you guys would have your child serve in the United States military. Put a two in the chat if you would say no. Okay. Put a one in the chat if you would say, okay, Danny, USMC. Okay, I got you, Danny. Okay, Lopez, 2. Nick, 2. Lady D, 2. Okay. I kind of got mixed now that you're saying it, if it would be if it was going to be if my son or daughter wanted to serve in the United States military, it would probably not be in any fighting capacity. It would be like Space Force, Air Force, some type of technological thing to where they're not on the front line, maybe like Intel or something like that, or maybe even, I don't know, man. It would be tough for me to in today's, oh, shoot. Wait, hold on just a second. 1115 senior general started stats on cruise mark. Want some, come get some honor platoon. Hey, who was that? Josh Kendall. Bro, I was in Charlie Company, Josh, if you're on here. Okay, I don't know if you were one of my recruits. Okay, I'm going to invite this guy to speak because he said something that Josh, if you were in 1115. Yeah, I think I was at MCRD and you were there, Josh. So if you're here, come on up to the stage because I'd like to talk to you. Put a one. Yeah, you were my drill instructor. Yep. Okay, Josh, I'm gonna try to invite you up, man. Okay. Josh is on here and Josh was one of my recruits. I'm gonna see if I can get him in here, man. Raise your hand so I can invite you up because this is one of the people that I actually that actually served with me. And I was very nice to him when I was down there at MCRD. I was a very kind drill instructor, Care Bear stare. You know what I'm saying? Bruno, jump in, man. Who wants to jump in? Put a one in the chat if you would allow your kid to serve in the United States military. Put a two in the chat if you wouldn't. Bruno, you got 19 kids. You know what I'm saying? All right. How many would you allow your platoon to serve in the United States military? Yes or no?
You know what, man? I would, bro. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the things that we were talking about here are valid, man. And I have my own opinions on how on kind of like the state of the military and how things are now, man. But you know what, dude? While I think there's a lot of things that are different, I still firmly believe, man, that military service is needed and necessary, man. It goes back to that thing where people say, well, if not me, then who, right? So I think that there's value behind wanting to serve. There's value behind wanting to support and defend the Constitution, man. And while I don't disagree, or while I don't agree with a lot of the way that things are ran, I do believe, and I would support their decision, man. Now, would I want them to join the Marine Corps? Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're talking about they want to go, be infantry and even intel. Nah, you know what I mean? Like, but still, man, I think there's value in that, man. And if anything, man, I would encourage them to serve, to just try it out, man. Go get your VA loaned out.
Now, this is what I want to say. Let me read this, guys. You guys listen to this. There were 8,942 reports of sexual assault across the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines in 2022. According to the report, of those, 7,400 came from troops who said the assault occurred during military service. All right. So look, guys, I'm telling you, man, yes, it's great in the military, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on that a lot of people don't talk about. And Tasha, I see that you're on stage. What is something that you feel that they could have done better in the United States Marine Corps?
Honestly, I don't know if you can hear me. Give me one second. All right, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Um, the sexual assault thing, I believe. Not gonna go into any personal stories. I was a uniform victim advocate when I was in, and I did get to see a lot of the things that happen. And unfortunately, when I was in, like, the Marine Corps has this culture, and I don't know all the other branches, I'm not sure, but they have this culture of, sit back, shut up, stop crying. That's why a lot of us didn't go to medical. Um, and a lot of us didn't, report things, because then you get either you single yourself out, or, no matter what, if you report, you single yourself out, especially if it's an open report. And a lot of people don't want that. So it's just, the entire culture of it, for me being in, the only way I could survive, I demanded to be treated like one of the guys. Like, you're not going to single me out. You're not going to be all sensitive. Like, okay, whatever you're going to say, just freaking say it. Like, that's the only way you can survive, especially in my MOS. I had a shop of 40 people. There was 2 females. I was one of them. And it makes the job become ineffective if you're trying to censor all of these other males. Like, hey, don't say that. Don't do this. Like, I don't care. So long as you do your job and you treat me with respect, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say, but there is a boundary here. And if you cross it, we're going to have problems. So it's really hard to navigate, because I'm a very, very small percentage, especially in my MOS.
And MOS, guys, for you guys who would never serve, that's a job. You get what I'm saying? So,
Oh, sorry.
that's
Yeah.
you still got the from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Look, I'm at attention driving my car right now. Thank you. But no.
Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. There's still certain things that I had to adjust, man. I was saying kill, when I got out. Did y'all know that anytime we used to have to tell us to do something, we would say kill? Do you know what type of mentality that you gotta have? Hey, we would cuss people, call people dirt bags.
Hoorah, hoorah.
Like hoorah, like people, like there's a culture. Now, there's certain things that go on in the military, man. We would say, hey, freaking, we would do funny stuff to each other, man, that you guys would not believe, man. Some of this stuff is kind of graphic, man, but.
It's funny how you're still trying to censor it, but like us that served, we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So, imagine being at work and then you fall asleep at work and then somebody puts a hot dog in your mouth, and they zip their pants up and run away. It's a crazy culture and doing goofy stuff and just having fun. But that's the culture of the military, man, because you got to break the ice. Just military has this dark humor side, and you cannot do that stuff. And a lot of people, if you knew, that's what the camaraderie was about, doing stuff like that to break the ice, having fun. But, I, to be honest with you, I miss that culture. Like, and I'll give you an example. The other day we had a meeting and there was some conversation going on that I disagree with. In the military, I would be like, shut the F up. And that's it. You're going to do what we tell you to do. Okay.
And no one would get offended.
And nobody would get offended.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, don't nobody give a shit about how you feel. F your feelings. Go get done what I told you to do. And that's it. But you can't talk like that. Imagine moving from that culture and then going into a culture where you got to transition. That's why people are afraid to hire, military people sometimes, because at the end of the day, mission accomplished at all costs. That's what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm telling y'all straight up what it is. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm telling you exactly what it is. And I will tell you, like, people are not staying in because, they're not staying in because they don't want to stay in. They get out, but then they miss it. That's exactly the way it is. 100%. There's not a day that goes by that I don't miss the military. Okay. Now, let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the Winning Real Estate Show. Today, we're talking about, is the military weak? Are we prepared like we used to be? What do you guys think about that? I'm your gracious host. Shout out to everybody on the stage right now. If you hear conversation coming from different places, we're having this conversation with multiple people from multiple platforms. Thank you guys for pulling up. I know it's late on the East Coast, but we wanted to have this fun room tonight. And then my condolences for everyone who has served in the armed forces. We appreciate you and thank you for your service. And in addition to that, we appreciate all of the supporters of the military, and we also want to highlight military spouses. So can we put a heart emoji in the chat, please, for all of the military spouses that are out there and all of the service members that are out at sea right now? Okay, and everybody who's on deployment and all of the military people that serve. Can we put a heart emoji in the chat, please, for that? I would really appreciate that, you guys. Now, and let's get back to the conversation, guys. We're talking about the state of the military, and we're talking about, you know, some of the things that people have faced, and what our thought objective is in regard to where we're at today. Now, who believes that that Russia and America, Russia and China, the two superpowers, are a threat? Put a 1 in the chat if you think they're a threat to our U.S. military. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe they're not. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe China and Russia is a threat to our American military. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe they're not. I want to see what you guys think. Okay. All right. We got some 1s. Okay. Ashley, Nick. Okay. Number 2. Okay. All right. I got captains. Okay. All right. All right. So okay. So I want to ask you guys, the floor is open. Why do you guys think that China and Russia are a threat? I'm going to ask you guys from your perspective. Do you believe that China and Russia is a threat to our democracy? Okay, the floor is open. Bruno, anybody want to jump in? Don't be afraid to jump in, guys, and make sure you keep your answers short. That way we can pass the mic around. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that? Okay, you think China's a threat? Okay, all right. So, hi B side, I'm gonna invite you to the stage. I want to hear from you. Why do you believe that China is a threat? Come on up on stage, man. Come hang out with us and talk, because we're on different platforms and we want to hear some. Okay, high side B. Did you serve in the U.S. military?
Yeah. Peace to the room. Former, well, you know, we're never former, but Marine Corps, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Okay.
Enlisted in 2002. Do I think China is a threat? Yes, especially when it comes to intelligence and technology. And then when you throw in that to our democracy, um, yeah, I do believe they are a threat. So I rest my mic with that.
That's fine. But why do you think that they're a threat, with the exception of their technology? Why else? What do you think? Thanks for the love, y'all. Go ahead.
I think morale. I think, you know, the way that they run things over in China. You know, they run a pretty tight ship. Um, you know, and you know the numbers. I think that I wouldn't. I mean, if we're gonna talk about like an all out attack, I'm not sure if they're ready yet. But you know, I'm not taking them lightly, and I rest my mic.
Okay, that's a good start, guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe you are in alignment with high side B, because we want to have this conversation, guys. On Instagram, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that China and Russia are a threat? Okay, what do you guys think? Anybody can jump in. The mic is open. Why do you believe that they are a threat or not a threat? Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta help me out here. I don't want to talk to myself.
I got you, Tony. I believe they are a threat just because the mindset. Again, they have the mental fortitude to do what they do. A lot of them are they they live more so with the mindset of wanting to be a martyr than Americans do. You know, Americans tend to be more self-serving. So I think just the mindset, they pump all of their money into their militaries. You know, we kind of divide, you know, pick and choose what. So and actually I had this conversation with somebody on the VA hotline today that in America, uh even though we do have air superiority because of the jets and stuff, but for some odd reason, we're just behind systematically, and it just never makes sense to me how we have the world's greatest military, but we be so behind on certain things that countries like China and Japan, they're constantly innovating in the tech space, and so you know the world is more moving into that tech space, which is why the Space Force was created. So they were already ahead of the curve, and the Space Force is what, maybe 3 years old now. So for me, it's just how the ingenuity in those regions and how they innovate. We were a little bit behind on some of that, behind the curve. So that makes, plus they all about weapons of mass destruction. Like that's always their first go to, and it's not necessarily America's. And we know why. We have all these checks and balances that prevent us from doing that. But they don't care. They're constantly um, committing war crimes and bending rules. So that I feel like that just makes them, that threat, because they don't care. They don't follow rules. America, we gonna follow rules first. So I digress.
And that's a good and that's a good a good way to look at it, guys. And then I got a couple in the chat. Okay, let me see what you guys think. Okay, so we got a couple of people here. Let me see what you guys think. Okay, we got they have financial leverage against us. China owns so much financial power with America. They don't need to come for us. We owe them money. Okay. What do you guys think? I had a manager that was a veteran. He had no filters. The culture was a coping mechanism. Okay. Hot dog in the mouth. That's crazy. All right. Regardless of the branch, you have to have mental fortitude to serve in the military. That's correct. Okay. What do you guys think? Okay, so Josh, I see that he was killed in Iraq back in 2019, first Marine there in over 10 years. Yeah, I know Copenhagen was killed. So, and this is the thing, guys, right now, listen, I gotta, if you click the link above my head right now, for those of you that are on here, I want you to click the link above my head. There's a troop right here that I served with that's telling you guys from, almost 20 years ago that I made this young man a U.S. Marine, and one of my Marines died. Okay. His name is his name is Copenhagen. Copenhagen. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but I trained this young man as a U.S. Marine. He was a special operations Marine, and he was killed in Iraq. Okay. All right. So, yeah, man. All right. What's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah. What's up, brother? How you doing? Can you hear me? Yeah.
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you let the people know who you are and what you do? Now, I got some people on TikTok Live, guys. One of a close friend of mine. Can you let the people know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, bro. My name's Joey Chavez. I'm a veteran, Marine Corps veteran, and I own a couple of tattoo shops here in California. One in Oceanside, right outside Camp Pendleton, and another one in Corona, California. We also do the body art bus, which is mobile tattooing. So we do private party special events. So I'm pretty much the tattoo guy.
Yeah, he is. And this is a close friend of mine. I served with him in the U.S. Marines. Now, let me ask you a question, brother. What was the hardest thing about your transition, like out of the Marine Corps?
Ooh, man. I think just having to, working so closely with people that are like self-motivated and had a lot of, personal discipline, and everybody kind of, had different opinions when I was in the Corps about how to get the mission done, but everybody was very mission oriented, how to take care of stuff. Well, when you get into the civilian world, it's almost like, what could I not do? How much can I not do? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, when you're working with civilians as opposed to military, you got to find different ways to motivate them and to inspire them. And it's definitely not the same way we did it with the Devil Dogs,
That's a fact, man. Now, while you're here, how long were you in the military? How long were you in the U.S. Marines?
So I only did 4 and out, but my dad was in 30 years, so he was a master gunny. So I feel like I was in my whole life, to be honest. But I personally only did 4 and out.
Now, as a kid, do you remember? Did your father deploy while you were in? Do you remember like him changing or anything like that? I had the opportunity of meeting the opportunity to meet your father as well.
Oh man, he's a great Marine, great American. Loved his country, loved the Corps, loved his family. Just great example to me, and I'm so blessed to have had him. But yeah, I mean, he got deployed many times. You know, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iraq again. He was even in Bosnia for a little bit when that cracked off. He was calm, so you know these calm guys, they always got him involved in something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I mean, honestly, I remember him coming home and just, he was definitely a different person every time, and he wouldn't really talk about it. You know, I think a lot of these veterans of foreign wars don't really like to talk about it, you know? Yep. But when we had a few drinks and he was talking about it, you know, you could tell it really hurt him, man. I mean, some of the stuff he would tell me is like the worst part is like when he went into the airport in Iraq and he's walking over, you know, dead women and children, you know, bodies littering the floor and stuff like that. Like, as a father, you know, that's going to hurt you.
That's a fact, man. Now I'm going to ask you another question too. So why do you believe that the military did not, when did you start to learn about financial literacy? And do you believe that would have changed the way that you do things today if you would go back in time?
Oh, 100%. Oh my God, 100%. Like when I first went in, they gave us those, I think they were TT bonds or II bonds. I forget what they were. But even those bonds, man, if I would have known better, I would have just let them ride out, because even when I got out, there was like $50 savings bond that all matured into like $200 savings bonds. And, you know, I just blew a lot of disposable income in my youth in the military. So if I knew what I knew then, what I knew now, oh man, I'd be way, way more well off. You know what I mean? Investing a little bit into the stock market and, you know, getting involved with the cutting edge technologies. If I would have been able to do all that at a young age, oh my God, I'd probably be a millionaire right now.
Well, brother, thank you for joining us. I know you wanted to pop in really quick. Guys, make sure that you follow my brother right here, Trusted Tattoo. If you look, he's tattooed some very famous people. This is not a small guy, man. This is a big guy. Who are some of the people that you've tattooed?
Well, some of my favorites have been like Tech9, who's you know, I've been a big fan of Tech9, you know, ever since I heard him growing up. But I got to tattoo him. Every time he comes into Cali, he used to hit us up and we'd go on a little tour with them. We've done like music video release parties with like Katy Perry, cool events like that. One of the newer celebrities, a girl named Julia Wolf. She's real hot right now in the like pop scene. But we've worked with a lot of just really rich people that are, you know, kind of behind the scenes, that aren't very famous, but are just, you know, crazy rich. And the thing is, when you go around these people, I think you learn a lot. You know, they say, you know, you're an example of who you hang around. And I mean, even just you, bro, I really value your friendship, because you have that mindset, that go-getter mindset, that, you know, let's improve mindset. And when you're around these people, these really high value people, they all have that, you know, and they're all very positive. You know, there's no negativity, bro. It's all like, what can we do to better ourselves? How can we be nice? How can we, you know, Katy Perry, man, was such a sweetheart, bro. Like, she was on my bus and she only had to sit on the bus to get tattooed with the one person she was getting tattooed by. But it was like 12 of her fans that got tattooed. Dude, she stayed on my tattoo bus the whole time with all the fans, talking with them, holding their hands with some of the girls and stuff that were a little nervous. Like, it just, you know, goes to show, bro, like, you know, some of the best people, the reason they get there is because, you know, they're really good people.
Yeah, man. And guys, listen, again, make sure you guys now, and this is another thing too, man. The reason why I wanted to bring him up, man, is because, guys, listen, vets help vets out, guys. That's one thing that I see that I do not see out. One thing that I do not see in the civilian world that I miss, like, we have a brother and a sisterhood to where we just want to serve. I mean, think about it. The service is at the core of what we do, right? That is one thing that I miss. I know beyond a reasonable doubt that my friends will come and get me in the event that Tasha, I was stationed with her husband. I got my brother right here. I sold him a property. We've had many conversations. He designed my logo for my nonprofit that's still, you know, and my YouTube channel, the SitRep YouTube channel. He designed my logo, right? These are people that, you know, they really want to see us. They really want to see you win. So I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate you for coming on the show, man. And thank you, brother. And make sure you guys give him a follow. Click the link above my head right now. Make sure you give a Trusted Tattoo a follow and check out some of his work. He's pretty dope, and he's pretty big on TikTok if you guys check him out, and on the gram too. Now, let me do a quick room reset. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about, is America...
Yeah, hey, thanks, Anthony.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry about that. There's a slight delay. Did you want to say something?
Oh, that's it.
Outstanding, brother. Let's hop on a call, man, because I know we got a lot to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about, guys, is America's military weak? Stack Pack, did you want something to say? I saw you came off the mic. Did you have?
No. I just wanted to tap in with you, Tony, and tell him, man, tap in with winning real estate. You never know who's going to be here. You never know what type of gems you're going to get. But just come, because support is free. And Tony goes around and supporting and pouring into a lot of people. So the fact that you guys are here, a part of the conversation in the night rooms, it means everything to us. So winning real estate, Stack Pack, I got your back. And you know what it is. Let's keep going all the way up, Jack. Let's go.
Outstanding, Stack Pack. Thank you for joining us, guys. This is the Winning Real Estate House. We're talking about the state of the U.S. military. Anybody have any questions or comments that they'd like to add or ask about the military? You do not have to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have an event taking place on Saturday, tomorrow. Okay, if you guys want to be a part of that event, it is a virtual and in-person event. We're talking about how to win with the VA home loan benefit. Okay, if you text the VA loan to 760-385-8211, I would really appreciate that. And for those of you that are on TikTok, make sure you heart up and share this with your friends, guys. Get me up to 10 shares. Right now, we have 1,200 likes. I appreciate you guys if you guys do that. Again, that number is 760-385-8211. Any questions or comments about what we talked about today? Anybody have anything that they want to jump in and add?
If I may.
Yeah, jump in, Tasha.
Okay. No, there's listening to the conversations about people who had veteran parents or, the serve themselves. I will say that I have had a number of conversations where the one thing that stands out to me is that, like, I love the Marine Corps. It's in my blood. Both my parents were Marines, it's how I was raised. And it's not that they forced me. It's just something I always knew I wanted to do. But what stood out to me is they take you at the ripe young age of 17, not even an adult, well, 17 for me, and they break you down. They take your sense of purpose, your desire to be somewhere, and they rip everything else away from you, and they build you up, and they make that your focus. That is your purpose for existing. You know what I mean? But then when it comes time to get out, you get this weak ass tap and tamp class that doesn't tell you anything. They spend 13 weeks tearing you down. And then they give you a 1 week class. Okay, this is what you need to get out. Make sure you check out LinkedIn. Here's a quick little financial breakdown of, this is what you're getting in the military. So this is what you need to look at when you get out.
Facts.
And here's the job site. Like, they don't prepare you for leaving the bubble and the comfort of being with people who are just like you, who have been broke down, who are in this, brotherhood, sisterhood, in this collective, in this cult, if you will, of the Marine Corps. They don't prepare you for it. So it's really hard to transition and get out and then go work with civilians that have zero clue.
Yeah, it's true. Now I saw that you, now I see Dante, did you want to add something to that?
No, I agree 100% with her. It's like it's a complete mind shift to get out, even depending on that check, on the 1st to 15th. And if you don't have a plan on the way out, you got to just go get it and figure it out.
That's true. And Jacqueline said right here, our family friend who served in the Marines and did several tours and came back home, suffered post-traumatic stress and had a relationship problem. He died about 6 months ago, and we attended his funeral. Heartbreaking. I'll tell you another thing too, man. Listen to this, man. Look, I talked to a young lady the other day. She said that her husband was in the Navy and he was a combat engineer. And when he got out of the Navy and then was dealing with PTSD, and then he was at work and then drank and then shot himself in the head, and the military is not giving her any disability for that. She's a widower because he didn't communicate that, but he has 6 combat deployments in his record book, and they're saying it's not service connected. Do you know we also talked to people that, listen to this one. Let me tell you another story. Amputee, okay, has no leg, one of his legs blown off for stepping on an IED, right? Was not 100% combat disabled. He was getting 80% for 16 years, y'all, and was fighting. He's like, dude, I'm missing a leg. How are you guys not giving me 100% disability? Man, it's
Exactly. The support that they tell you is going to be there is not there. It took me months to get into the VA system.
yeah, man. So I just wanted to share some stories with you guys. Now, again, this is not a bash the military thing, guys. All right, it's not what we're doing here. But we are telling you guys that if it's some things that people are dealing with, and they tell you that when you're in, you're an asset, but when you get out, I mean, I haven't gotten a phone call 20 years in the Marine Corps. I haven't gotten one phone call from the Marine Corps, not one. Okay, now the VA hospital. Okay, I can go there because I'm a disabled vet. But guess what? Even just with serving 20 years, they say, oh, yeah, your medical is going to be good to go. It took me 11 weeks to get a dental appointment. It took me 9 months to get my primary care doctor sorted out. So, yeah, you get this stuff, but going through the red tape, I mean, there's a lot of things that, and I feel like the solution is the transition from military to out of the military just needs to be tightened up. I think that, there should be a person or a liaison that is communicating with the people that are out, that the people that are in, that they're communicating so it's a smooth transition out. That's where I feel like the problem is, because there's people with issues. Like right now, I'm still getting medication. They're sending to me that I don't even remember what it's for. It's like, look, and think about it. Let me share something with y'all, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is something that I want to tell you guys. Look into Veterans Guardians. They helped me tremendously with the VA. Okay? Listen to this. I'm going to tell y'all this. Big Pharma, when you get a government contract, the medicine just comes in like clockwork. They just send it to your house. And then it just gets sent to your house, and then that's why you have service members overdosing and stuff, because they're not checking for this stuff, man. I'm keeping it real. This is real stuff that's happening. Now, I love the Marine Corps with my heart. I gave 20 years, a lifetime to the Marine Corps. I gave a lifetime to the U.S. military, okay? And I got my brother Ramos that just came in. Brother, I want you to come on stage, man, because your story about coming from Puerto Rico and getting out before your time, I think people need to know that story. I think that that's an amazing story, man. Like, guys, what we're talking about is real stuff, okay? Just yesterday, a vet held a lady and 2 kids hostage in a hotel in St. Louis. The 2 kids locked themselves in the bedroom, called 911. Eventually, he surrendered after 10 hours and was taken to the ER eval. He suffered post-traumatic stress. 100%. Brother Ramos, are you here?
Hey, Tony, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What do you think
I'm sorry, man. If I got good signal here.
I can hear you. We can hear you, man. We can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yes.
Okay, I have a question. What was your deciding factor? Why did you serve at a senior enlisted person? What was your decision? Why did you actually get out?
Oh, man, that is a compound question.
Kick it, man.
That is a very compound question. So actually, I was doing a podcast today, and I brought in 2 chief foreign officers, and one of them was actually my boss when I was still in the Marine Corps. And man, we were actually talking about this subject on the podcast, and there was many deciding factors. As a matter of fact, I will tell you what was the beginning, what actually triggered me starting to look at other avenues of besides the Marine Corps. Okay, and believe it or not, it actually happened when I was in career school, when I was going through what's called now staff sergeant school, okay?
Oh, career
And
course.
what happened to me was, yeah, career course, yes. So what happened to me was that they had I was the president of the class and all that stuff. And they brought in a leadership panel composed of like 2 majors, 1 lieutenant colonel, and 2 sergeant majors. And they started up I'm sorry. My wife called me right now. But anyways, they started off the symposium, saying like the Marine Corps is only gonna get harder, and if you're not doing this, you're gonna have a hard time staying in. So they came in like very high into the right, and me being the president of the class, I had my first question. I was like, I understand everything that you guys are saying, but what about the Marines that are already doing that type of stuff? What incentive is there for the Marines that are already doing all that stuff? Is there an incentive? And the sergeant major, it was the sergeant major that actually answered my question. The sergeant major said, well, if you join the Marine Corps because of the money, you're in the wrong branch. And
Wow.
everyone went like, ooh, like that type of stuff. And then I stayed quiet, because obviously the show is about them. It's not about me. So at the end of the class, I approached the sergeant major and I was like, Sergeant Major, just so you know, I wasn't referring necessarily to bonuses and monetary incentives. How about we make the MESEP program more accessible to top tier Marines?
Yeah.
And I gave him like all this, good ideas, and he was like, yeah, whatever, and that was the first thing that got me thinking into like, man, like I don't know, like the Marine Corps is saying one thing, but it's actually doing the others because of dinosaurs like that sergeant major that what was brought into that leadership panel. So that was the beginning factor of it, and then there was a couple of other factors whenever it comes to talent management again. And my biggest thing is, listen, you can tell me, and this is the reason why I mess with you, Anthony. You know how you are. I can respect people for who they are. You don't need to put a facade of pretending to be someone that you're not. Because when people get close to you, you can sense that. You know what I'm saying? Like when people get close to you enough to you, you can sense who you really are.
Yep.
And that's the problem that I had with leaders in the Marine Corps. I was like, they would go out, specifically I'm talking about COs and sergeant majors and first sergeants and company commanders. They would go in front of their troops and they would be like, oh yeah, you guys are doing great. But then afterwards they'll be like, hey, staff NCO, stay behind, staff and officers, stay behind. And then they'll be like, you're fucked up, you're fucked up, you're fucked up.
That's a
And
fact.
I'll be like, didn't you just say that we were doing good? Like, so you want to give credit to the NCOs that we train, but you want to shit on us? Like, what is this? So I started like getting pissed off at that. I started really losing faith in be like, man, like these people are not about what they're really about. Like I could respect the leaders that I had coming up, and I don't know if I'm talking too much right now, Tony.
No,
You
you're
can tell me
good,
to
bro.
shut up.
No, rock out, man. That's why I brought you on the stage,
Yeah,
guys. That's why I brought you here.
yeah, but essentially, like that's what I could respect about the people when I first got into the Marine Corps. They weren't the perfect leaders. I'm gonna tell you this: they weren't the perfect leaders. They hazed the fuck out of me. They did a bunch of stuff, but I could respect them because they were them. You know what I'm saying? Like they were their face was exactly who you saw. And I could respect other people. And in business, like we do now, I respect people that are themselves. And that's why I have a lot of respect for you, Tony. Because you are who you are, man. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people get stuck behind in the past of like the mistakes that you've done or the mistakes. But I'm like, bro, that's how you learn.
Yep, 100%.
I ain't perfect. Doug, Jesus Christ said, well, this, I don't know if you want me to get religious, but Jesus Christ said one time, it's like, I don't know how to say it in English, but in Spanish is, el que esté libre de pecado, que tire la primera piedra. That who is free of sin may throw the first stone. I don't know if that's the right translation into the Bible, but that's what Jesus Christ said, man. Like none of us are free of being perfect.
Yep.
And that's why like I take people at face value. And yeah, that's pretty much, man. I don't know. I went kind of today was a very productive day for me, man. As you know, we talked before this live, but yeah, today was a very productive day. So I'm just offloading some of the things that have been going on in my mind.
Now, this is the reason why, guys, make sure you follow Albert Ramos on TikTok. He is viral. And then also he has a podcast called A to B podcast, right? And then above my head, you'll see the SitRep YouTube channel too. For those of you that are here, click the link above my head and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And do me a favor, if you guys click the SitRep YouTube channel, can everybody that's here right now click that link and then just leave a comment, because we're on a process of highlighting military people, highlighting military spouses. Tasha, we got to get you on the show. Anybody who wants to come on the show that's military or supports military, we want to get you on our YouTube. And the reason why is because we want to bring awareness to this stuff. And listen, our goal straight up is to bring more awareness to financial literacy for military people. What your benefits are, okay? We got an event tomorrow at 805 College Boulevard, Suite 103. The link is in the chat for those of you that are here. And if you're on YouTube, I'm gonna get Albert to, if you can post it in the chat, guys, for on TikTok. And guys, share this out, guys, because we're going to be doing these rooms, and we need to reach, our goal is to reach 21 million veterans and military spouses. We cannot do it without you. So for those of you that are on the Instagram live, if you look in the pinned comments, that's the event tomorrow. It's going to be at now. And I also want to say a congratulations to somebody, man. Tasha Ornelas on stage right now. It's now pre-approved to buy her investment property. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Tasha, congratulations, Tasha. I really appreciate you, for one, allowing us to represent you on your journey. Okay. And Barty, my brother, Trusted Tattoo, formerly known as Body Art, he has the Body Art bus. He's on stage right now. He's a real estate investor also in sunny Southern California. It does not matter where you guys are at. We want to bring awareness to you guys utilizing your benefits and how to maximize your VA loan benefits, because financial literacy starts with your home. So if we can at least,
Tony,
yeah, go ahead, jump in.
Tony, can I say something real quick? Because I really got to get this off my chest. Because today I was doing training at the office with an agent, right? And I think this is something I really want to share with people, because I think this is very impactful with what separates us and what we're doing in all aspects. Whenever it comes to the Veteran Homeowners Club, whenever it comes to Wire, whenever it comes to Cardone veterans, what is it that really sets us apart? And I had an agent today at the office that was doing some training with me, and he, to veterans, to be more specific, he was calling veteran homeowners to see if they were willing to sell their homes. And he was like, man, I keep getting hanged up on. Straight up, that's what he told me. It's like, I keep getting hanged up on. And you know what I told him, Tony? I told him, brother, the reason why you keep getting hanged up on is because you're trying to get something before you give something.
Yep, 100%.
So as the Veteran Homeowners Club, you do know, right, that we don't only provide that service of listing their property, of listing their property, right? You know what we can also do? We can also connect them with resources and services in order for them to be better served by the veteran community, and resources that they might not even know that they have. So it's like, let me take over for you real quick. 5 calls, and within that 5 calls, 2 people picked up. Out of those 2 people, I told them, hey, good afternoon. My name is Albert Ramos. I'm calling on behalf of the Veteran Homeowners Club, and the reason why we're calling is because we're trying to spread awareness on our nonprofit organization, and we're trying to help you to see if you need something, whenever it comes to your veteran benefits. Have you already applied for your veteran homeowners for your veterans property tax exemption?
Nice.
Just like this, Tony. Just like this. He was like, oh no, I'm actually at 30% right now. I'm trying to go up to 50%. So can I rate the veteran homeowners exemption? I was like, actually, you have to, in here in California, you have to be at the 50, at a 100% mark. However, I'm going to put you in contact with somebody that's going to help you out with that. So that's what it's all about, man. Like that person was so thankful that instead of us just simply going like, hey man, you want to list your home? Hey, you want to buy a home? That we connect them with the things that are actually important for them first. So and that's really what set us apart, man. Like we have to ensure that and what I like to do is I like to give before I take. Because everyone knows that Doc, you click on my profile, you click on Tony's profile, it's gonna take you a total of 0.2 seconds to figure out that we do real estate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you a 0.2 seconds to figure out that we do real estate. How do you want to be known? As that realtor or as that real estate professional or that mortgage professional that just simply takes instead of giving? I don't want to be known by that.
Me
You know what I'm
neither.
saying? I want to be known as the guy that I want to be known as the guy that is gonna help you out in all aspects of your life. And then if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing, then we'll help you out.
And you know what that's called, man? That's called earning your business, man. Like you earn the business. And this is the difference between us, man. Like you want to make a lot of money, help more people. Like Tasha, we've been working with Tasha for 2 years, guys. 2 years. Okay. So, and she's on stage right now. So, and those are the type of success stories. If she would have went to Navy Federal or USAA, they just would have been like, nope, sorry. But people go through things, right? That's the biggest thing. People go through things and they feel like they can't do it. I think the fundamental piece that we can at least do while we're not in is either help you get your disability rating up or give you the awareness and stuff that you guys need to know to own the home you defend. You sacrifice your life to be in a U.S. military. Why not have financial literacy? Leveraging the VA loan to buy multi-units, buying property so your grandmother can live in it, structuring your corporate structure so you can build credit, collateral, and capital. Okay, getting the government grants that's out there for veterans. Come on, man. That's what we're here to do, man. I think that's where it starts at. Who wants to jump in? Beth, go ahead, jump in.
Hey, Anthony. Yeah, I've got to hop off here in a minute,
Thank you.
but I just wanted to let you guys know because I'm pretty sure you guys have read this book, No Guts, No Glory. Mr. Bolin, Jim Bolin, that wrote that book, No Guts, No Glory. It wasn't a book when he wrote it, but I got the pleasure to have him in my life. I was helping out some business partners grow their golf cart business. He came every single day on this golf cart from Suntree, Florida, to visit me and his wife. The first people in that she could think of is I have to talk to the people that he goes to see every day. He died at Suntree Golf Course here down the street from me by a heart attack back in 2014. But this gentleman, man, the stories he told me of how he came up with that, no guts, no glory. He's like, Beth, we had no choice. It was, you better get up there. You wake up in the morning and you go for it. And you might not wake up tomorrow, but you go for it. Now, I have an NDA on a different gentleman that I sat with him watching my kids play at a playground. He'd walk his little dog down, which was Betty Boop. He passed away. Guys, sit and listen to people. The people that went before you, sit and listen to them, because this gentleman that I can't say his name, back in the day when he passed away in 2015, he was 98 years old. He joined the military when he was 15 for the United States government. He was an encryptor that he knew 7 languages. He was so amazing to me that I just sat there and listened. But Mr. Bolin, I still have a book that he signed for me. But I'm telling you what, and in our industry, find somebody like Anthony that knows how to work those loans out and get them done, because we have to get our military in. I had to shut down and I wanted to cry because I had a condo facility that would not pay the amount of money to get in to take on VA loans inside that community. And I had to turn away people from Space Force. I think I heard someone earlier talking about Space Force, which is right here on where I live. The first Space Force is at Patrick Air Force Base, which is literally a crow fly away from me, because I'm down here with Elon and everybody else
Beth, did you say that?
on
Hold
the
on one second. I want to back up real quick before you leave. I had a question. So you said that the condo
uh
wasn't the condo that you wanted to, the condominium wasn't approved to take VA loans. Is that what you said?
Yeah, they would not approve it because they would not pay the money here in the state of Florida to accept VA loans because, one, they didn't want to live up to the expectations of VA inspectors. Yeah.
That's crazy, guys.
And it,
And let me say this. And thank you for sharing that story, guys. Listen to me. Did you guys know that you know when you don't accept VA loans for condos and stuff like that, you know that there's a process to get it approved. There is a process that you can get it approved. And on top of that, I'm glad that you said that because this is a good topic to transition into. So just because it's not VA approved, you can get it done. And guess what? When you usually if it's not VA approved, then the FHA is not going to allow it to get approved also. So now you can only accept cash and conventional, which narrows your that creates the demand, and the demand for that property goes down for getting a buyer in there. That is good information. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, Tony, and if I may share something real quick. So, because I'm going through something very similar right now. So, listen to this story. I don't know who's interested in this story, but if you guys are, please share this with somebody because I can guarantee you that somebody's going to benefit from this. So I actually have a buyer right now that is looking into buying a property. He doesn't care. He's just looking to buy a property. And we found this really. I'm usually not a fan for manufactured homes. I'm not. I'm not a fan of manufactured homes. But we found this manufactured homes that was built in 1975. And it was fully remodeled in 1991 and is currently an Airbnb and is extremely well kept up. Like I'm talking about like I want to buy this property. That's how nice it is. Okay. And no lender will get near it because it doesn't meet the VA stipulations, or it doesn't meet the FHA or VA stipulations that for manufactured homes, if it was built past, I think it's June 26 of 1976, the VA or the FHA will not touch it. And in case you guys didn't know, I didn't know this until right now. And this place was built in 1975. So I'm like, we barely just missing it. Barely just missing. I'm actually working this case right now. I still don't have a solid answer. So make sure that you guys follow. We will follow up on this. So make sure that you guys follow Anthony and that you guys follow myself because we will run this all the way down. And we're trying to see if there is an exception because there is one lender that said that if the VA will do the ETP, which is an exception to policy, that they will approve the loan. And that's essentially what we're doing right now. And it's the same thing, guys. Like, don't ever let anybody tell you no until the approving authority tells you no. You know, because it goes in hand into what we were talking about. Like, there's so many places right now that, they say, oh, well, you cannot buy in this condo. Well, are you sure? There's an exception to everything. And trust me, after me being a recruiter, it's like, trust me, there's an exception to absolutely everything. As long as you are able to articulate the reason why there should be an exception. Okay, guys. So make sure that you guys understand that, and that you guys get yourself someone that understands when to apply pressure and when you need to take your loss. So but back to you, Tony.
And guys, listen to me. And guys, thank you guys for I'm going to drop a little nugget right quick. Do me a favor, for those of you that are on the social media, listen to me. In the chat, you will see the event that's coming up. For those of you that are on Clubhouse, we have 21 people here right now. Can y'all do me a favor and click that YouTube channel and just leave a comment on the live? I want to see you guys get on the live. Give me a wave, give me a heart or something in there, because we're growing our space. Let me read this to you, and let me tell you some of the things that Albert and I will be talking about tomorrow. The VA has no specified dollar amount for the maximum loan. The maximum loan depends upon the reasonable value of the property indicated on the notice of value and the lender's need in terms of secondary market. No down payment is required by the VA unless the purchase price exceeds the reasonable value of the property or the loan is a guaranteed GPM. The lender may require a down payment on secondary use for the VA loan, depending on how much veteran the person has. The veteran must certify that he or she intends to personally occupy the property. There is no minimum credit score for the VA home loan benefit. The veteran and seller may negotiate for the seller of the payment and points. Seller can pay down the person's interest rate. Seller can also do an interest rate reduction. Buyer can also do an interest rate reduction refinance loan with the property not appraising at the value. So guys, this is some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. Refinancing the loan. The loan value of the property does not have to appraise at value for refinancing the loan. No appraisal or underwriting is required. Closing costs may be financed into the loan. Any reasonable discount points can be charged by 2 discount points. The VA loan also allows one veteran to participate in buying a 1 to 4 dwelling unit and 1 business unit for a total of 5 units for the property. Guys, we're going to be rocking out tomorrow. Listen to me. Tomorrow at 805 College Boulevard, Suite 103. If you guys are on the social media platforms and you guys want to know, get a link sent to us. We're already at 49 people. We got space for one more person. This will be digital also. So if you guys are interested in a digital VA loan masterclass tomorrow with myself and Albert, text VA loan to 760-385-8211. Again, VA loan to 760-385-8211.
Now, let me dissect that real quick, Tony.
Yes.
Because to somebody that you just read that off a manual, I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, right? Listen, guys. Listen, for you that's looking at me right now, for you that's looking at me, it's okay if you don't fully understand what that means, okay? That's why it's so important for you to sit down with somebody that understands what that means, so that way they can break it down Barney style, because 9 times out of 10, if you're a veteran, specifically if you were in the Marine Corps, okay? Crayon eating was probably one of your hobbies while you were in, okay? It's okay. We'll break it down Barney style for you. Listen, it's okay. We will break it down Barney style for you. And overall, we will let you know and come up with personalized timelines into your home buying journey. Let me put you an example. And this is an open mic for everybody across all social media platforms. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to throw an example out there to see if they know the answer to this, okay? If your spouse is a veteran and you're still an active duty service member, who should the loan, and the veteran has 80% disability, who should the loan go under? Should the loan go under the veteran, or should the loan go under the active duty Marine, even if the veteran has 0% active income? I'm pretty sure that's going to be
Clear that.
for some of y'all.
Well, I would say clear that up for me, because I would not use VA benefits on that if I'm only at 80%. I'd go ahead and hold that money to the side.
Okay.
I'm going to take a shot at it. Can I take a shot at it, Albert?
Yeah, of course.
I would use the person that is out of the military, because the VA funding fee is waived.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. There we go. And you don't know that because remember, guys, you are combining your income. You're not combining your entitlements. Okay, guys, even at 80%, it really doesn't matter because that person's income is irrelevant, really. You guys are still going to get the same pre-approval amount whenever it comes to your income and your debt to income ratio and all that stuff. But something very crucial that you are actually taking out is the VA funding fee, which here in California, the VA funding fee can save you anywhere from 8 to really 14, 15, $20,000 of the purchase price, depending on how much your debt to income ratio or your pre-approval amount is. So guys, like, this is information that is not common knowledge unless you come to somebody that truly understands the VA home loan and overall can articulate that to the listing side. Because there's a lot of people, specifically, guys, listen up. Man, we got 10 people, so I must be sharing some fire. We got 10 people here on TikTok, so we must be sharing some fire. Listen up, guys. This is not common knowledge, even across realtors in our industry.
And banks.
Okay?
And banks, bro.
And banks. You're 100% right. And banks. So the reason why I say that is because if you are in a multiple counteroffer situation and it's between a conventional, an FHA, and a VA home loan, okay? How do you upsell the VA home loan? Because I've had realtors that tell me, well, you don't have enough skin in the game. Your buyer doesn't have enough money in the bank in order for him to compete against these other offers. And that is my time as an actual VA specialist to educate other realtors into why is it that in reality, we are better qualified than an FHA and a conventional loan. Because the FHA loan is only coming with 3.5%. A conventional loan is only coming up with 20%, while us as the VA, we're coming up with 25%. That is 5% more for all my, people out there that is counting crayons right now. That is 5% more than the conventional and around 22 and a half more than what it is for the actual FHA loan, guys. So that's why it's so important for you guys to understand that, because there is no loan out there that's better than the VA home loan. And can you guys riddle me this? Can you guys riddle me this? And this is an open question for everybody. Can you guys please riddle me this? If there is 21 million veterans right now in the United States, veterans and service members, 21 million, guys, 21. Why is it that only less than 6% of them are homeowners?
Because
less than 6%.
Because they don't know. I'm gonna tell you straight up, because they don't know about this information that we're talking about. That's why. And let me say this too, before we go ahead and land the plane, guys. And listen to me, guys. Listen, make sure you follow right now, guys. Listen to me. Follow Albert Ramos. This is my partner. We're on stage. He's on stage with me right now on TikTok. Also, guys, click the link on Clubhouse above my head and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you guys want to get on the waiting list for tomorrow, okay, I will make sure that you guys have a virtual seat for the VA Loan Masterclass. Is going to be taking place in 805 College Boulevard, Suite 103. But we will have a Zoom. The Zoom link is in the chat and it's in the notes. So if you guys want to get on that Zoom, register so you can get in there. Okay. I think we got 115 people total for tomorrow so far. And if you guys want to be 116, make sure that you register for the event, guys. But let me highlight this real quick before we land the plane, because I got to get off right now here in a little bit. I want to tell you guys this. VA loan default to the lender is 1.98%. Conventional loan is 2.47%. default. FHA is 6.10%. So that means that if a VA loan goes through, it has the lowest default rate after you get into it. So it makes more sense for people to utilize the VA home loan benefit. Albert, are there any closing remarks in XLAPS? I saw that you came off XLAPS. Did you have anything before we go over to Albert? Okay, please put the link in the chat. I would love to attend the Zoom. Okay, I got you right now. All right, I'm going to put that link in the chat for you. Albert, did you want to share anything before we sign off, brother?
Man, one last thing, because this is the last thing that's been bugging in my mind over this next few days, man. Because what's been happening to me over this last few weeks is that people are so afraid because of the year that we had in real estate over 2023. When in reality, like it was a good year for real estate. To be honest with you, for some buyers, right? A lot of people are like, man, like I live in base housing, or man, I'm renting right now. Why would I want to go from renting or living in base housing where I'm comfortable, I'm pocketing $200-$300 a month in rent to go and paying out of my BAH money, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now why that is, because I've been giving it a lot of thought. It's to break the cycle. Because right now you are in a very comfortable cycle, and like most likely they're not. If you were in the military, if you were ever in the military, you were so grateful of all the benefits that the military gave you because you didn't know any better. Because you were thankful of the opportunities that the military gave you. Okay, guys? But in reality, you're coming from a family of renters, or you're coming from a family that really played it safe, and you're thankful that you're also playing it safe. And in order for you, what home buying means to a lot of us, oh man, what home buying means to a lot of you guys is breaking the cycle of starting from becoming, or your children, you that are watching this right now, having to get the things that your parents, your family members didn't leave you, and then now you leaving something to your family. That's the cycle that you're breaking. Home buying, I'm telling you this right now, man, is probably not for everybody. Probably not for everybody that's looking at this right now. But if you decide to break that cycle, I promise you, it's probably going to be one of the biggest things. I actually had Jake Mahaffey on the podcast today. Jake is a team member from us, and he's went 20 years without utilizing his home loan benefit. Wow. And the one thing that he told me, out of all the things, I asked him this question very specifically in the podcast. I was like, what's one thing that you regret? And you know the one thing that he told me?
Not utilizing the VA loan earlier.
Not utilizing the VA home loan sooner. Because I lost so much freaking money into not utilizing the VA home loan sooner.
That's wild, bro.
You know? And that, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, man. Like that. Do you want your children? I learned this from Tony, by the way. I don't want to take it from him.
No, bro.
But there's something that he taught me. It's like, do you want your children to what's it called? Inherit. That's the word I'm looking for. Inherit your procrastination.
Oh, right here. Hey, bro, look, check this out. One of my biggest regrets not buying earlier and break the cycle. Text Daddy-O, I'm glad that you said that. And guys, damn, man. Albert, why when we start cooking and we're supposed to shut down, now you got 54 people on your live right now? Is that what that is? Is that what that says right now? Is it set 54 for you?
No.
What is that?
Those are gifts. Those are gifts that people are sending me.
Oh,
which, by the way, guys, just so y'all know, those gifts that I receive, they go 100% back into you guys. Okay, so all the gifts, all the money that I make from all of my social media, I pledged it day one when I started my social media into giving it back to people that need it more than I do. Okay, so in other words, you need a home inspection paid. You need an appraisal paid. I'm trying to get to the point to where you need something redone at your property before you sell it. That money is going to go 100% back into you guys. So I want to make sure that, again, before I take, that I give. So that's my biggest thing, man. I'm just going to end it at that because I know you got to leave, brother. It was a pleasure doing this with you tonight, brother. Hopefully we get to do them more.
Hell yeah.
We can do them.
Put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys want Albert and I to be cooking on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Guys, we're going to be rocking out. We're going to be doing a night show. Listen, guess what, guys? We just had 16 more people register for the VA Loan Masterclass tomorrow, baby. Let's go, man. All right. So for those of you who didn't click the link, okay, let me tell you again. If you cannot click the link, I got so much social media stuff going on right now. Text VA Loan to 760-385-8211. Again, On Instagram, you'll see the YouTube register is there, and then on Clubhouse, you'll see the Zoom link is in the chat. I just posted it in there, guys. You got Tasha that's on the stage. You had a couple of people that went through the process. And then also, if you're a non-veteran, it does not matter. You guys can still register and learn how to invest in real estate with a vet. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Now, again, text VA loan to 760-385-8211. Again, text VA loan to 760-385-8211. We'll send you guys the registration link for those of you that are on TikTok. Okay. And we really appreciate all the love. 10,000 likes today. Okay. We have served over 600 people on all of our social media platforms. Guys, we really appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for you guys' support. We will be doing night rooms and day rooms. Now, for those of you that are here, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll do these rooms, and then we'll have random night rooms. I got to get with Albert because we all have families. So we'll talk to you guys about when we're going to be doing these night shows on a regular basis, okay? Out freaking standing. Thank you for your service. 2 hours and 25 minutes later, I am out. Thank you guys for your service. Again, do you want your children to inherit your lack of investing in real estate? If the answer is no, register for the link, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Nice room, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.